Good afternoon, everyone. This is Reading for Charity again, and continuing this blast of books, The Fall by Albert Camus. So, this is fantastic. I really enjoyed this book. It is thought-provoking, it's interesting, it has an excellent array of ideas, which I haven't yet finished thinking through. I'm actually going to go back and reread this book when I'm finished, just so I can have another go at actually thinking my way around what he says in this book. It's an excellent piece of philosophy, if nothing else. It is the book itself is basically an extended monologue by a man in Amsterdam who meets somebody else and then proceeds to tell him about his life. And I'm not going to give away any spoilers about the story whatsoever. Because it's a genuinely, even if you ignore the ministrations of what it means to be human, etc., etc., the story itself is actually relatively interesting. With him as the penitent judge, which is such a lovely idea in itself. The story is interesting. It covers similar ground to the Marquis de Sade books, in that they're expressing similar ideas about giving yourself up to your baser emotions and baser wants, and what that means for the world in general, when if everyone should do that or not, or what it means if one person does it, and what does it mean to actually follow it wholly and completely, and is it healthy, is it not healthy, etc., etc., etc. It's very, very well written. Very, very well written. It's written just as an extended monologue to a silent partner, to an effectively silent partner. He responds a couple of times, but you don't actually hear the other person's side of the conversation. So it's it's hard to actually talk about this book. It's something. It's one of these books that you actually have to read. And there's not many books I say that about. It's most books I can sit and talk about and say, here's some of the story, here's some of the plot, here's some of the characters. But really, there's only one character in the story. The plot is intertwined with the spoiler. So I can't really even give away much of the story. The cover itself, by the way, so the cover I've linked there, which isn't the cover I've got for this book, the cover I've actually linked on the video, is a chunk of spoiler in and of itself. Without giving away anything further about that, the fact that it's called The Fall, someone falling off a bridge, is genuinely important to the plot. But it's an extended essay / monologue on the human condition, and it's a spectacular read. It's not a long book, 147 pages. It's big text. I read this in an hour and a half on a train journey, and it is genuinely good. Genuinely good. I was a little bit worried that I was going to get more literature. That's what I thought I was going to get from this book. I thought it was going to be Albert Camus. He's down as being a great of literature. I'm going to get an impenetrable mass of text. Completely opposite. I was hugely surprised by this. Hugely surprised. I recommend everyone who actually has a brain and wants to think about the world and their place in it should go and read this book. 100% you should go read this book. So there's my recommendation. Should you read this book? Should you read The Fall by Albert Camus? Yes, definitely. Go and read it. Go and read it with a brain in your head and think about what he says all the way through, because it is definitely excellent, and it's worth reading. And I'm going to go back and read it again, and I'll probably go back and read it again, and I'll probably go back and read it again, because it is that good. And I still haven't thought my way through it, and I don't think I'll think my way through what he's been saying after 4 reads. So I think this might be one of those books I go back and read every so often. Everyone has them. I think this might be my one that I'll keep going back and reading. So yes, definitely read this book. Okay, that's enough for this blast of books just now. I'm going to try to do some more tomorrow. That should be me up to about 82 reviews done. I've got another 10 ready to go. And I've got, that sounds about right, because I've got about 6, 7, 8 books left to read. So I'll try to get another 10 reviews done tomorrow if I can. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. Good afternoon.